What's going on, guys? Today we are taking a look not at a plugin, but another headphone amp. So in one of my previous reviews, one of the only ones that isn't about a plugin, I took a look at the Poulson BCPM A2. This is a handy little headphone amp that you can use live or studio, whatever. But today we're going to take a look at another option for a really good headphone amp. So this is a little bit of like an unboxing review kind of thing, but I have a couple of recordings and live events coming up where I need these for the band, and I figured, you know what, this would be the perfect opportunity to try out an unboxing video. So they came in, I got 3 of them. We'll just pull out one. These are the Anleon S1 personal monitor amplifiers. In the Valerie video, which came out back in January, I believe, I had 3 people performing at the same time, and for their in-ear monitors, one person was using the Poulson and 2 others were using the Anleons. And they ended up working really good. Someone complained about there being a ground hum, but that was because of one of the channels, not necessarily the device itself, because I went back and tested it a couple different ways just to be sure. But we're gonna go ahead, open this one up, take a look at what it comes with. So right on top, you have the user manual, which, as helpful as this is, it's a very simple device. Hopefully you know how to use it, but for those inexperienced, this is very helpful and I appreciate them having it in there. Next in the box, other than the headphone amp itself, you have this little white box. This little white box is very helpful because it comes with 2 things that you will probably need. One of them is an actual power adapter power supply for the headphone amp. So if your musicians are ever right next to an outlet, which especially if you are doing a live event, they most likely will be, instead of using up batteries, you can just plug this in via the 9-volt power supply input right there on the bottom. The other thing that is in that little white box that is extremely helpful is one of these microphone screw adapters. Now, why would this come with a headphone amp? That is because on the back of the headphone amp, you have an adapter, so you could screw this on to a microphone stand to use as an actual holder for it. And if your microphone stand has one of the smaller screws, you have this adapter for that. Now, I keep a hold of them just because it's really handy to have these, even if I'm not using them for this. I've lost a couple of these, and the fact that they come with this make me so happy because I don't have to buy any extra on their own. But let's take a look at the headphone amp module itself. So right here on the top, you have the headphone jack. You don't need any of the 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch adapters, which is really helpful because most of the time people lose those anyway. And most of the musicians that I work with only have the headphones or in-ears. They don't have the adapters, and I don't always have the adapters on hand for them to use. Next to that, you have the volume, obviously. To the right goes higher, to the left goes lower. And then here right next to it, you have the balance of left and right. So this can be run stereo or it can be run mono. And you have the option to balance left versus right if you are running in stereo. If you're running a mono, doesn't matter what you're doing. Next to that, you have the stereo mono button. I believe if it is out, it is stereo. If it is clicked in, it is mono. Hopefully that's right. Let me check the manual. Stereo, mono, switch, stereo, device outputs. Okay, that doesn't say either. So yeah, but then if you flip it around onto the bottom, like I said, it has that power adapter right there that you can push in, and you also have the on off switch. I like the on off switch is separate from the volume control, because then whenever you turn it off or turn it back on, you don't have to find that sweet spot for the volume again. You are ready to go from the start and don't have to keep tweaking. You just hit the on button and start playing. That is the one issue with the Poulson. You have to turn it on and then find that volume spot that you want to stop. And that's not always helpful when you're running on stage and you've got to get started immediately. After that, if you don't want to use the power supply, on the side here, you have a 9-volt battery spot. So you can put any 9-volt batteries in there, close it up, and you're good to go. That was more difficult than it should have been. Another great feature this has is the belt clip. I'm not a huge fan of the belt clip, mainly because it is very like top heavy. The balance is not quite there because they were trying to get that microphone stand adapter. So with the belt clip, it kind of just keeps falling backwards, and the pull of the mic cables or anything on the bottom would offset that balance as well. So It's not the best in that aspect, but you can slide this onto a music stand or something like that. I did a show once where the guitarist actually had this right next to her, slid it onto the music stand, and it held it perfect. It had her controls right there for her. And I'm probably going to start setting it up like that whenever we have people with music stands, just so they can decide, oh, I want to leave this on there or I want to put it on my belt. Overall, it's a very sturdy device. The sound is great. I like that you have the left and right there. If you're wanting to run it mono, I think you're only supposed to run the left signal, not the right, but I haven't tested that. So if someone could figure that out, let me know, or maybe I'll figure it out and leave a comment down below explaining it. But yeah, very sturdy device. I'm looking forward to using it in these sessions. You guys should see it in action very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and it can help you decide whether or not that Anleon S1 is the right device for you in the future. I know most of the time I only do plugin reviews, but I'm excited to try and do things that are more than plugins, actual physical gear, microphones, things like that. I've got a lot of gear that I use regularly and have opinions on, and maybe I'll get to share those very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and comment down below. Let me know about anything that you want to see me review, and subscribe. I've got more content like this coming. I try to have a review video out every Tuesday. Doesn't always happen, but until next Tuesday.